Welcome everybody to Grapple FK. We are covering Josh Parisian against Parker Porter. This is on the main card of the upcoming Blades v Lewis headliner. So let's get into this. Josh is 13-3. He's come through the Contender Series. Parker is 10-6. Josh is coming off a win, actually a few wins, I think. And Parker's coming off a loss to Dowkhouse. Parker's 6 foot. Josh has got 4-inch height advantage. From what I've seen, the way that Josh fights is quite unusual, throws a lot of spinning stuff. Some of his kicks are decent, but haven't really seen great striking from him, to be honest. I mean, he does have 2 wins in the Contender Series against decent opposition, but he's fought some tomato cans, but this is quite common in the heavyweight division. And Parker Porter is surprisingly mobile for his size. Probably the best way I can put this. But yeah, I mean, the quality from both of them, from what I've seen, is not great, in my opinion. And I think Parisian struggles with people who come at him and who have some kind of grappling, and Parker is surprisingly quite quick with his striking, but really haven't seen too much of Parker. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, when you get 2 heavyweights who are pretty inexperienced and have patchy records outside the UFC, it's always going to be difficult to predict.
Yeah.
I agree with you that Parisian striking is rudimentary. It's worked in some fights. There's no real sort of kind of technique there. As you said, there's some spinning shit. Spinning shit as a rule is not something any fighter should do because it generally doesn't work. Parisian did get that spinning back fist KO in the Contender Series. It didn't look very good before he got that spinning back fist KO. But, you know, if you get a KO like that, people pay attention and, you know, they think you're good when you're not. Yeah, from what I've seen of Parisian, he's a rudimentary fighter. His skills are pretty basic. There's nothing about him that says to me he's a skilled fighter, and his record backs that up. He's also had a very difficult time in the footage I've seen against, who was it?
He had a difficult time against a guy who was 8-10 or had a really bad record.
Yeah, that's true. Let me just check his record. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that guy, Marcus Moulding, who's not a good fighter. He had a very difficult time there. His record, as you said, is full of tomato cans. You know, 6-1, 8-10, 3-1. That 3-1 fight was only 3 fights ago. 4-4. The previous fight, 4-11. Jesus, 3-6. This is not a good record.
But this is the this is where heavyweight has got to in the UFC, unfortunately. So it's not the first time we've come across this type of record at heavyweight.
But this is the COVID-19 era heavyweight division.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you said Parker Porter is not very good either. That's a more complicated question. Did you know that he fought Gabriel Gonzaga in 2011?
No.
And he got submitted in round 3, but he won the first 2 rounds. He was piecing up Gonzaga on the feet.
What weight was this at?
Heavyweight.
Okay, all right.
I think. Is Gonzaga? What weight was Gonzaga? Middleweight.
I thought he was a light heavyweight, or have I got that wrong?
I think this particular fight was at heavyweight.
Okay. Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a heavyweight. I think Gonzaga's a heavyweight. Anyway, so Parker Porter was piecing up Gabriel Gonzaga on the feet in 2011.
His striking is pretty quick.
Yeah, and this was shortly after Gabriel Gonzaga KO'd Krokop, when Krokop was Krokop, and when Gonzaga was Gonzaga. This is serious shit. So that, and as you said, his striking is quick, and in a lot of his fights, you see some really nice boxing, very crisp striking, slipping, countering when countering over the top when people kick him. very solid, decent fundamental boxing.
Yeah.
He's got the basic technique down. He's obviously trained in pure boxing. Like you can see that. He's a decent boxer. The issue is, yes, he is quick, as you said, but when you're 6 foot tall and he used to fight at middleweight and now you're a heavyweight, and this guy actually started MMA when he weighed 360 pounds. When you're an obese tub of lard, your options are limited. You know, I think this kind of guy, when you're that big, even with
probably still technically obese.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at him.
He's only 6 foot, right? So
I think I heard one commentator in one video say that he was 5'11".
and he had to lose the fight against Daukaus. He had to lose 20 something pounds to weigh in, so he was around 290, which is fucking ridiculous.
His legs
are huge. Yeah. Biggest legs I've ever seen.
And that's not from squatting, it's just from eating.
Yeah. He's been at the KFC vouchers, fam.
Yes, he's been at the brownies. He's been the cheesecake.
This is how I could look like, but a brown version maybe in about 5 years. This is what I'm aiming for with these brownies and these custard pies and all this stuff. This is the ultimate goal. Without the tattoos, though, I'm not feeling that.
I don't know how much you need to eat in order to get.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, I eat quite a lot, but I mean, God knows how much these guys eat.
It must be insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point was, despite the solid technical boxing with the crisp punches and the slipping and the countering, when you're a massive tub of lard, your options are fairly limited. You're not going to be dancing around, the octagon, jumping in and out with jabs and kicks. You're going to be basically pretty much stationary. Even if you are quite explosive, you're going to be occupying the center of the octagon. And you're going to need your opponent to come to you. You're going to need your opponent to engage. And if, say, you're a longer fighter like Josh Parisian, there's maybe opportunities for you to win. You throw jabs from a distance, at range, throw leg kicks, throw high kicks.
Yeah. Some of his kicks are decent. Doesn't really jab that much. But yeah, I mean, to your point about his height, his stature at heavyweight, I mean, he really struggled against Daukaus. It should be said that Daukaus is a very good, in my opinion, he's a very good heavyweight. Solid hands, quite quick, good kicks.
I think Porter had his moments. It didn't last very long at all, but yeah.
It didn't last long. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I would say so. But I think Daukaus was definitely a few steps above, a few steps in front of him. But that's a tough first fight. That's a tough first fight.
Daukaus is good.
He's pretty good. But yeah, it's tough, man. 6'6", 6'4". You're saying possibly 5'11" at heavyweight. Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he must have some eating disorder. But I just want to talk about his career, because he started fighting back in 2007 professionally.
Long time ago.
Yeah. And then he was fighting up until 2011. Including Gabriel Gonzaga, very creditable performance against Gonzaga. That's a big deal. And then he just kind of fades away, has one fight in 2013, one fight in 2015, that's it. So
he hasn't really been active. Yeah.
So something happened there. Maybe injury, maybe too fat to fight. I don't know. Then he seems to come back in 2018.
He's not 260 pounds. Come on. Let's adjust this shirt, dog. Yeah.
So he comes back in 2018 as if he's trying to, regenerate his career. And he does okay. I mean, he's 3-2 since he came back in 2018.
Yeah.
The competition is not great, but the competition he's faced since 2018 is significantly better than what Josh Parisian has faced.
Josh Parisian faced a decent person in the Contenders series, but yeah, because it's his UFC debut, I'd say probably over the last few fights, Parker Porter's faced better competition. and possibly overall in his career as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
More fights, better fighters. And just the fact that he outstruck Gonzaga is a big deal. I know that was 9 years ago, but that skill probably hasn't left him.
Yeah, I'm really not. I mean, to be honest, I'm not feeling both fighters, but I think there's been quite a lot of hype about Parisian on Instagram and stuff. And I think it's all come out of that spinning KO, his 2 wins in the Contender Series. And it's just, I'm really not too sure what to think of him, because you find with a lot of these unskilled heavyweights, what they normally do have is one punch KO power, as in one punch straight KO power. If you're throwing a spinning back fist and that lands, you can KO a lot of people like that. Any weight can, because you generate so much force through it. But his straight punching, his stand-up punching, like basic boxing, he doesn't seem to have that one punch KO power. He seems to have to throw a lot of output to get someone out of there. It's quite strange for a heavyweight. That's 6'4".
I mean, his striking, that makes sense because his striking, just doesn't look good. I mean,
it's a bit all over the place. But I mean, he's on a roll. I mean, there's absolute tin cans: 3-6, 4-11, 3-8-10, and this is the guy that he had some trouble with. I believe it was this guy. But he had that spinning back fist win, and then he had more recently punches from out against Chad Johnson. Sorry. But
can I throw some information at you about the fatty?
Yeah.
He used to be, I don't know when he stopped, but he used to train, he used to teach MMA.
Which fatty?
BJJ.
Porter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen some decent BJJ from him in one of his fights. Admittedly against a bit of a tin can, but he was extremely dominant on the ground.
Fair enough.
So he used to teach MMA, he used to teach BJJ. The school is not a famous school, but it's still an MMA gym. So that speaks to me. There's a skill set there.
Yeah.
And I look at Josh Parisian, and
he is on a 6-fight win streak, though. But I mean, yeah, I'm not impressed with this guy. I think he got away with that fight because of his size. That guy was a lot smaller than him, Rebello or whatever his name was.
Well, Rebello didn't do anything.
And he didn't do anything, exactly. Yeah, he didn't do anything. But yeah, and Parker Porter is, as we've seen on Topology, I think you said he's 3-2 in his last. Oh God, that's scary. So 2-1 in his last 3.
Yeah.
Against those two like decentish records, 16-7 and 8-5. It's not bad. But I mean, we don't really bet on heavyweight fights. We definitely don't put them in the accumulators normally. And I would stay well clear of this fight because I have no idea what will fucking happen. However, the odds may sway my decision. I'd like to know what the odds are. I suspect Parisian is a favourite because he's coming off a win in the Contender Series.
Okay. So Parisian is a favourite. But what kind of odds do you think they're offering?
I don't know. I think people are probably quite high on this guy because he's on like a 5-6 win streak. I don't know, -180, -200 maybe.
-225.
Well, okay.
And
So
Parker, the big old fatty, is minus 175.
you
No,
mean
sorry.
plus?
Plus, wait, yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Plus, sorry.
That's quite wide, I think.
I think there's a lot of value on the fatty
The fatty, yeah.
because.
Boing! Sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
I just remember that part of Ali G in the house. He starts bullying that little fat kid. Boing! Sorry.
No, I don't. I don't remember that, but it does sound good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I mean,
Are
bullying
we
of
allowed
any
to say
kind
fat?
is
We
fun.
haven't checked. We're not allowed to say anything anymore, Andrew.
Mm.
No, we can still say fat. We can still say fat. I'm pretty sure we can.
Fat.
Yeah.
Fat.
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 They're both fucking fat.
Yeah. So anyway, I like those odds on the big fat cunt because he's got decent boxing.
Yeah.
He's got a fundamental skill set.
Yeah.
And yes, Parisian, I guess he does those spinning back kicks nicely.
He's bigger as well.
That's not a striking game. It's just not.
Yeah.
You can't build a striking game around spinning back kicks and a spinning back fist. You can't do that. That's not fighting. That's I don't know what that is. It's not fighting.
He is bigger though. He's significantly bigger. No, not in terms of weight, obviously. In terms of height.
Yeah, I was going to say because Parker Porter is definitely he's definitely bigger.
We need 2 seats on the plane. We know. Yeah, but maybe not 2, probably 3. Yeah.
So let's think about how these guys clash in the octagon. What happens in this fight?
Parker sits on him, maybe. I don't know. He could win like no. I think he'll be stand up. Obviously, Parisian's going to try his awkward striking, whatever game plan he has. And I think Porter. I think if Porter can get into his range, which it looks like there's a possibility there because he doesn't really jab. I think if Porter can get in, he can cause him problems.
Yeah, so Josh Parisian's game plan, he tends to go forward. In all the fights I've seen, he goes forward. He's not entering with a jab. He's not closing the gap with a jab and jumping in. He's just walking forward, like doing weird things with his hands. That is exactly what the fatty wants, because he's coming into the fatty's range, and the fatty can bop him on the nose. I think the matchup favors Porter.
Yeah.
And I think Porter has an extra string to his bow in the sense that he's got a ground game.
I haven't seen anything of his ground game, but you know more about ground game than me, so I'll take your word on that.
I don't know much about his ground game, but he's got a ground game of some sort.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
He used to teach BJJ. So
Parisian's grappling's not great. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those useless UFC heavyweight fights that are completely fucking shit. But I'll tune in and watch because
it's always fun to see 2 fat knackers go at it.
Yeah, because normally one does get finished, and that's always good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Parker Porter won 2 rounds against Gabriel Gonzaga.
You keep saying that. Yeah, you've said that about 10 times. 9 years ago.
I feel like you're not giving this the respect it deserves.
No. I'm putting some respect on Parker. It's a strange name, isn't it, Parker Porter? Anyway, let's get to predictions. I think we've dissed these guys enough. Just for everyone at home who may feel offended by this, we know that being fat is a disease and it's a problem. So that was all. It was all a joke. We know it's a serious condition, and also just get out and fucking jog.
Fat Fat is beautiful, Walid. Yeah,
Fat
no
is
matter how fat you
apparently.
are, everyone's just got to accept it and love you for who you are.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Why do
what's
you think
inside that
why
counts.
do you think I'm having fucking 10 cookies a day and shit?
I don't know, fam. I think you've got some kind of problem.
I'm trying to be the brown Parker Porter, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna go with Porter.
How do you think he gets it done?
KO.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go for it.
What round?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Parker Porter's quite measured. He's disciplined, as a good boxer is.
Yeah.
He's not going to be headhunting straight away.
Which is why I think 2.
Yeah, I'm going to say round 2 as well.
We're both going for Porter.
We're both going for the upset.
Yeah.
People are still thinking. My only issue with Porter is that he's obviously not a full-time professional fighter.
No.
Maybe he's training. Maybe he's teaching. Maybe he's doing something else entirely, like working in a chocolate factory and eating all the chocolate. Or he's working in a pie shop and eating all the pies. And
I thought for one second you were going to make like a serious point, but
no, I am. This is a serious point. This is a serious point because he's obviously not a professional. If you look at his
the amount of time he's taken off.
Yeah, so he's obviously doing something else in life.
Maybe had some serious injuries, we don't know, but
yeah. And I think Josh Parisian probably is training more.
Yeah, Josh Parisian apparently has been training very, very hard over the last few months, according to some Instagram videos that I saw. Trying to develop his strength and conditioning and his striking, but he's pretty young actually, 31. That's pretty young for a heavyweight. But I'm still going for Porter.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So for the cum-cums, I might put this in the risky cum-cum.
No, I'm not.
No,
this isn't going anywhere near the cum-cum for me. No, I'll just do a separate bet.
This will either go in the risky cum-cum for me or a separate bet.
Or a separate bet, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not comfortable enough. I'm not confident enough in good old Porky. Porky. But yeah, that's what I think. I think Porky gets it done round 2.
Yeah.
And Andrew?
Yeah, same here. Porky, KO, round 2.
Yeah, and just to reiterate to everyone at home, we know that being fat is a disease, and this was all a joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't mean to offend anyone. On that note, thank you for watching. Please do like the videos and subscribe, and tune in for this, because these two fat fucks are going to go at it. But I'm not being offensive there.
No.
We know it's a disease.
Yeah.
So that's a bye from me. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.